For the first time ever, a majority of Democratic House candidates are now backing progressive policy proposals. Now, this one, of course, is Medicare for All. National Nurses United recently surveyed hundreds of Democratic House candidates and found that over half of them now back universal health care in the form of Medicare for All, H.R. 676. Now, running in races across the nation, according to Common Dreams, 225 Democrats who will appear on ballots for national seats now support Medicare for All. That is a huge victory for progressives, and not only that, but for America, and because of good policy. Now, the news comes on the same day as a release of a recent poll by Hill TV and Harris X that found that 92% of Democrats, and the more surprising number, 52% of Republicans now support Medicare for All. Damn. And of course, the right wing is losing it. Now, support for the proposal has been seen among candidates running in red states like Mississippi and West Virginia, where political pundits have frequently claimed bold progressive policies would find no backing. Well, you know what? It's because nobody's ever run in that in those states before. And it turns out that it's actually popular policy. Progressive policy actually helps regular human beings. And whether you're Democrat or Republican or independent, you look at good policy and you think, will that help me out? Will that help my family? Yes. Yes, it will. And actually we'll do it cheaper. Because, look, the United States, we're the only modern industrialized country that doesn't have a single-payer healthcare system. Everybody else can do it. Canada can do it for about half as much as we do it here. And there's no co-pays. There's no deductibles. There's no employer-sponsored insurance. Now, of course, Republicans come out and say, oh, my God, this is a terrible thing. Getting rid of for-profit health insurance. Oh, terrible. No, that's the point. That's why people like it. Because people don't like health insurance. They don't like having to deal with health insurance corporations. Doctors themselves don't like dealing with the myriad of different insurance plans. It would actually cut down on administrative work. They could actually eliminate some administrative jobs, which, look, it would suck, but here's the thing for the people working in those jobs. But here's the thing, it's unnecessary and it's wasteful and it causes wait times, right? So there are, doctors that spend more time filling out insurance forms and calling insurance companies than they spend treating patients. And that is a broken ass system. And that's what we have here in the United States. And so Medicare for All is the fix for that. And, what job losses will come with that, especially in private health insurance, more jobs will open up. Because when you think about it, and this is what's so great about it taking over for employer-sponsored health insurance, is that these employers are no longer on the hook for giving their employees health care. That means they can expand. This means they can create more jobs because they don't have to have the burden of covering health insurance anymore. Imagine all that money, all that freed up capital. That's just one of the many, advantages of a Medicare for All system. Now, I want to give you some quotes here. This is from Nancy Altman of Social Security Works. She says, the majority of Democrats are running on creating an America in which their seniors no longer have to choose between buying groceries and getting the health care they need. Now, seniors right now have Medicare, but the thing is, it's that there are a lot of holes in the current Medicare system. H.R. 676 fixes those holes. Because I know there's a lot of people that are like, well, Medicare right now, it's not comprehensive. It doesn't cover everything. There's no vision. There's no dental. The Sanders plan, and it's now, and that's in the Senate, but that same framework, I think it's being pushed now by Ro Khanna, who's a California Democrat and a progressive, basically fills in those gaps. It expands and actually gives people dental and vision and things like that. So you don't need those supplemental plans. So it actually does help seniors, right? And that's what she's saying. Not only that, Robert Weissman, president of Public Citizen, says electoral candidates' increasing embrace of Medicare for All means the issue will be supercharged when the next Congress convenes. But even more important is why these candidates are embracing it. Because an increasing majority of Americans with increasing passion is demanding that the United States end the rationing of healthcare with a Medicare for All system. So, and that's actually smart framing, because that's what Republicans talk about all the time. Well, if we have Medicare for All, that's rationing of care. But when you think about it, what's happening now? If you can't afford your health insurance, if you can't afford to pay your deductible, then you don't get to use your health care. That's rationing of care only for the people that can afford it, can use it. Well, that's a broken system too. That's not a good system. You pay for insurance, but you're not able to use it, then what's the point? So when you use their framing on this, death panels, same thing, right? Real death panels are health insurance companies that try to go out of their way to do anything they can to deny people care because it's bad for their bottom line. So they try to find any way to deny you life-saving care. That's a death panel. That's using, again, the same framing, unelected bureaucrats. Well, in this case, this is an insurance board of executives trying to make this decision for you, effectively getting in between you and your doctor. That framing, man, that framing, right? But look, now Republicans, of course, have stepped up their attacks on Medicare for All. You had President Trump coming up with a ridiculous op-ed, which was chock full of absolute falsehoods that people did not buy. You also have now a 72-page report on how socialism is terrible / Venezuela eating rats. So that has been the conservative refrain here, right? Not only that, but they're warning about, well, we can't spend too much. In fact, we should probably cut Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security because of the tax cuts. But again, some of the studies, or all the studies, even the most conservative study out there, said that we will pay $32 trillion over the next 10 years. That is $3.2 trillion a year. Guess what? We already paid that much. And the growth of healthcare over the next 10 years under the current system will lead us to pay $5.2 trillion or $52 trillion over the next 10 years. Whereas Medicare for All, using the most conservative estimates and numbers, right? And assuming there's going to be a gigantic run on healthcare in itself, right? Still ends up spending less and costing less than our current system. The math is unavoidable. You can't sit there and say that, it doesn't add up. It absolutely does add up. Numbers don't lie. But politicians do. So, and that's what Mitch McConnell and that's what the rest of the Republicans and Donald Trump are doing. It's not effective. 92% of Democrats, 52% of Republicans, that's a majority, saying, okay, yeah, we're interested in government-run, single-payer healthcare. And it's government-administered, by the way. What's government-run is the actual payouts. It doesn't get between your doctor at all. That's who's paying. And, of course, it gets paid and taken from your taxes. But studies have shown that it's not as expensive as our current health care. So even though your money, your premiums will be taken out via taxes, you're actually going to pay less per month with the premiums that you have. Unless, of course, right now, you have nothing but a junk insurance plan, which, thanks to the Trump administration, now exists. So, now, look, this is good policy. These are good numbers. Medicare for all is inevitable. No, it is not a situation where it's never, ever going to happen. Sorry, Hillary Clinton. That's just not true. A majority of Americans want it, and we're going to continue to push for it and pressure politicians until we get a single-payer Medicare for all system. Because we can't wait anymore. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.